Hello Gates. At 85 years old, Tom Jones has begun speaking openly about parts of his life and career that for decades were left only to speculation, especially his relationship with Elvis Presley. Born Thomas John Woodward on June 7, 1940, in the small Welsh town of Pontypridd, Jones grew up in a working-class family where hardship was common. He suffered from tuberculosis as a child, left school at 15, and worked difficult jobs to support his young family after marrying his teenage sweetheart, Melinda Trenchard. Through it all, music was his lifeline. Even in his youth, he sang at gatherings and clubs, quickly standing out for his booming voice and magnetic presence. His break came in 1965 with the release of It's Not Unusual, a song that immediately propelled him into international stardom. From there, his career exploded with hits like Delilah, Green Grass of Home, What's New Pussycat, and She's a Lady, songs that became timeless and cemented him as one of the most distinctive voices of his generation. Beyond studio success, Jones was a powerhouse on stage, gaining a reputation for electrifying live performances filled with charisma, energy, and an ability to captivate audiences of every background. His Las Vegas residencies in the 60s and 70s became the stuff of legend, attracting celebrities, world leaders, and fans who often tossed underwear on stage in the frenzy of his shows. Over time, he proved himself adaptable to almost every genre, from pop and soul to country, gospel, and rock, collaborating with icons such as Aretha Franklin and Janis Joplin, and later reintroducing himself to younger audiences through projects like his cover of Prince's Kiss and duet-filled albums in the late 1990s. Despite fame and acclaim, Jones remained deeply connected to his Welsh roots and grounded by his decades-long marriage to Linda, even though their relationship endured strain from his infidelities and the chaos of stardom. When she passed away in 2016 after nearly 60 years together, he was devastated, selling their longtime Los Angeles home and returning to the UK, a move that marked a major emotional turning point. His personal life was not without controversy. Affairs with well-known women and even paternity disputes followed him, the most notable being his son Jonathan Berkery, whom Jones only acknowledged in 2008 despite a court ruling nearly 2 decades earlier. These complexities often shaped the public's perception of him, but they also revealed the challenges of balancing stardom with personal responsibility. As he grew older, Jones's voice only deepened in richness and emotional power, leading critics to praise him as one of the great vocalists of his era. He found new success as a mentor on The Voice UK and through albums that showcased a rawer, more introspective side of his artistry, yet one of the most striking revelations in his later years has been his willingness to discuss Elvis Presley. Not as the untouchable king of rock and roll, but as a man and friend. Jones and Elvis first met in the 1960s, both at the height of their rising fame. From the beginning, they shared a bond, often spending long nights together talking about their childhood struggles, the pressures of fame, and their attempts to remain grounded despite the chaos of their lives. Tom recalls Elvis bursting into a room singing one of his songs the first time they met, setting the tone for a friendship built on mutual admiration and genuine connection. But Jones also witnessed the decline of Elvis up close, and it has weighed on him ever since. He remembers seeing signs of dependency on prescription drugs, the growing isolation, and the destructive atmosphere around Graceland that kept Elvis from confronting his demons. Tom admits that he regrets not pushing harder to get Elvis help, explaining that he felt torn between loyalty and intervention. Their last meeting in 1976 left Jones shaken, as Elvis appeared weary in body and spirit, carrying a sadness that was impossible to ignore. When news of Elvis's death broke in 1977, Jones was devastated, describing it as losing a brother. Now, decades later, he feels it is important to share the truth about the man behind the myth. He wants people to remember Elvis not just for the rhinestones and the legend, but as someone kind, funny, and deeply human who longed for love and understanding. Jones's reflections are not only about honoring Elvis, but also about confronting the realities of fame, its hidden costs, and the lessons he has carried into his own life. He believes that being truthful, even about painful memories, is the most important legacy one can leave. Today, even in his mid-80s, Tom Jones continues to perform with passion and soul, carrying with him the memories of Elvis and the wisdom earned through decades of triumph and hardship.